Alright, in this second video on JavaScript, we are going to jump into working with jQuery. Now this is a pretty big jump at the college level. A lot of college JavaScript courses teach an entire semester of JavaScript before they ever deal with jQuery. But you know, we like to get things done around here, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. So what is jQuery? Go to the website. That tells us that's a JavaScript library. You can see that right here. And what that means is that it has a whole bunch of code that it wrote for us that we could just refer to make our lives easier. And really, we don't need to know much more than that, except that we're linking to a code base of a whole lot of stuff that somebody else, in fact, teams of people have done in JavaScript, and we're going to rely on that to make our coding easier. So, if you are in Firefox or another modern browser, like we have Chrome here, but you won't have that at school, you just click on that link and you copy it. So I'm up here in the URL up top. I'm going to copy that link, and I'm going to pop back over to my code, and that's going to go right there. Just like that. So notice that I have an opening script tag. I use the source attribute, and then I close it. We also have another code block down here, and this first one links to our jQuery library. The second one is going to be the JavaScript that we actually write ourselves. And almost all the time when you're working with jQuery, you have to use a function or a feature called the document ready. And what that does is it waits, make sure that all the page loads, and then it runs your JavaScript. And we saw in the previous example that if we don't do that, that the JavaScript will run before the page actually loads, and we saw an alert box pop up. But what if you're going to add a whole bunch of animations or put a Flash game, or of course not a Flash game, JavaScript game on a page? You wanted to use jQuery to help you with that, and you put it all up here, and it just ran before the whole page loaded. Well, there'd be no more game to play. So what we're going to do is we're going to load a function that looks like this. We put $sign first, and whenever you put the $sign, you know that you're working with jQuery, and you're getting the help from that library. We're going to say document, and document is JavaScript term for the web page. We're going to say when you are ready. And the rest of this code, technically what we're doing, may not make sense, but we're writing an anonymous function, and we're going to say do the following. So everything that we put inside of here will run after the document or the web page has completely loaded or is ready. So if we put our alert function in now, it should wait for the page to load. Remember before, it loaded right away if we put it at the top, and it only loaded after the code if we put it after it chronologically. But with the help of jQuery, you should see the page load and then the alert function. And it doesn't look like we're getting the alert function here. Forgot to close my quotation mark. Get you every time. Alright, now we see it load, but let's test to see, make sure that it loads after the page loads, and there we go. Now this may not seem very fancy, but what's important to know is that this setup here, where you're going to use pretty much every single time you use jQuery. And we're going to get into some more advanced stuff doing with jQuery, and you'll notice that all of them have in common is this. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this jQuery.html file as a template, and whenever we need to write some jQuery, we'll open this up and use it like this, and it already links to the code online, and we're ready to go.